All right, everyone, it's Jennifer Stafford with VineLife Ministries coming today again to share with you a word from the vine. Now, I know I started out this series first of this week about knowing God as, and you can fill in the blank. Now, day one, I talked about knowing God as your Father, if you didn't have one, or you needed one, or even if you had one, He still is. He's the great Father. Second day, I've talked about knowing God as your friend and having that relationship with Him as a friend, like as you do a best friend or a friend in your life. Today, I'm going to talk about knowing God as your King. Now, this was hard for me in my life to comprehend, as I came from a place that, not that we didn't have anything, but just we didn't have a lot of resources and a lot of things, but we had love. We had a lot of those things, but we just didn't have a lot of resources, and we didn't have a lot of things, and it caused tension in our life, and I had this mindset of lack in a sense, and as I've grown to know the Lord and read the Word of God and learn that God, who He is in my life, the Lord has shown me that as I became in a relationship with Him, when I got in that relationship, I am now a daughter of the King, and that He is my King. And I think about the relationship of like Prince Harry or a prince that has a dad that's a king. That they've been. Do you think that they worry or think about, well, they lack, or they wouldn't have things that they needed, or do you think that nothing matters because their father's the king? You know, as I'm learning to understand that and wear that better in my life, I've learned that with God as my King, I don't have anything to worry about. That He has all that I need, and He will supply all of that for me. And also that there's no lack with Him because He is the King. You know, Stephanie Fitzgerald has a song, King of My Heart. Not only is the King of this, but He's the King of my heart that roars around and just has authority and great command, that even where the enemy's trying to hurt us, that He can fight our battles and do the things that we need as children of the King to help us. He's left us the things behind in the heritage that He had. We have that very same thing that God had 2,000 years ago, that we read about in the Word every day. You know, that He went and He healed, and He conquered, and He defeated. You know, that we have that we're heirs of that in our lives. That with Him as our King, that we have the very same things that He had. And that also that we can go to Him and that He has everything we need. I know I said that, but I cannot get past that in my life. We're for so long growing up where I had that lack mentality, that I learned that I can go to Him, and even where I didn't see things that I didn't see it growing up, I know that I serve a God or have a King in my life that has access to all things. All things. You know, the Word of God shares with us, for God is the King of the earth. Sing to Him song of praise. Psalms 54:7. He talks about God being the King of this earth. So where we sit back and things may be going on, if we don't call on the King to help us and do things for us, it's not that it stops Him from being the King, but it stops us from seeing what the King will do for us if we'll call on Him. Because for me and you, we're children of God, which is the King. We're children of the Most High King. He's our King, and we're children of Him. You know, God, He says, fear not, daughter of Zion. Behold, your King is coming, seated on a donkey. You know, it doesn't matter what He looks like in our life. You know, I came from a place that I thought looked drab, but He was in that place with me, and He was still King, and He was still faithful, and He still showed me things and brought stuff out of my life from the very places, regardless of what they look like. And I've learned the value I have now that I'm the daughter of a King. I now don't see myself as less than or lack or not good enough or not having the love I need or anything, because I know now that I'm a daughter of the Most High King. I have no worries. And when I get caught up in times, and do not get me wrong, as I've grown and I developed, I've had to remind myself of things in this area, but I've learned that I can sit back more knowing that the King of this earth, who is my Father, my friend, is now on my side, taking care of my business. Now, it is my part to come to him, share my business with him, talk to him about my business, ask his thoughts and concerns. But as I do that, then I can sit back and allow him now as the king to do what he needs to do to make things right for me and my children and my family and my friends and in my life. You have that very same thing. God is no respecter of persons. He loves us all. And when he died, when you enter into heaven, or when you enter into your relationship with the Lord, you at that moment have become a daughter or son of the King. You know, it's a process to fully comprehend that, but I want to encourage you today to start to understand and acknowledge yourself as the son or daughter of a King. That you have the resources that never end, and he will give it as we need. He is a God and a Father that also knows what's good for us. But as King, he has all things, and his hand is on all things. He knows all things. He can conquer all things. So I just ask you today to sit back in your life, and if you've struggled with identity, or you've struggled with value, or you've struggled with who you are, know today that you, my friend, are a son or a daughter of the King. You have value that has been purchased. It wasn't just asked for. He purchased you. That your value, for him to be your King, he purchased that right in your life through the cross 2,000 years ago. And that, my friend, has no momentary value, because you cannot put a price tag on your life. And that is why he died for us, because price tags cannot come from life. But what he did that day was showed you that there's nothing as valuable as you. There's nothing as valuable as you and me in his life, because he loves us. So if you struggle in the areas of thinking, do I have value? Does he love me? Does he know me? My friend, he died for you. He died for me. He died for us all. And anyone who doesn't know him, I just ask and encourage you to become to know him. Is he died for you, and that you are valuable. And if you would say you don't know him as even anything in your life yet, I want to encourage you today to send us a message. Let us help you enter into this relationship with the Lord, so you have these things in your life, and that you have hope, and that you have resources through him in this earth. I thank you that you tuned in today with me. I am honored and privileged and thankful that you have shared getting to know God the way I've become to know him on a personal level. I ask for you to tune back in tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Continue to share these messages. Tune in on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And know that every day, if it's not me, Michelle, it's Yvonne, who's the founder of VineLife Ministries. It's tuning in every day to get a word from the Vine and to understand God more in our lives and who he is. So I ask you to kick in or join me in tomorrow again. Thank you so much once again. You're a daughter and son of the King. So I thank you as you continue to grow with me in the Lord, and grow with me as I continue to grow, that we can grow together and become to know the Lord, all that he is in our lives. Send in your prayer requests, any concerns or questions to us. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, and until next time, be blessed.